Hey guys, welcome back to the 24 Down podcast. It's Buddha here. I am so excited for this episode because almost none of you know who this guy is, and you're going to be like, wow, this is like the coolest guy. I wish I knew him. This is episode 30 of the 24 Down podcast. Like I said, welcome back. We have Mike Fraz Nelly, but I like to call him AKA Fraz. Fraz, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to dig in today, man.
Yeah, man, me too, man. I haven't seen you for a long time, but like I was telling you off camera, off air, that you still have the same energy and vibe, man, that I always like. You just have this energy about you. It's just this happy, positive, vibe. And when you went, I was so upset because I just loved you. But I'm so happy that we're talking today again. And I know you've been listening to some of the podcasts as well.
Yep.
And I'm so happy about that. So happy to have you here. So to start off, let's just let's get into when you came to Valley Forge
Yeah.
and kind of tell me where you lived and also what your major was.
All right. So when I came to Valley Forge, you mean where I lived beforehand? Like
Well,
where?
where you? I mean, you can tell us where you came from, but also where
Sure.
you
Yeah.
lived on campus.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's from Northern Virginia, um, and I lived in 24 up in the far corner up there. And it was a little boring there at times, but I got my spice and excitement from walking downstairs to 24 down. That's where the action happened. My major at the time was elementary education, which I didn't really go that route, but similar. I kind of went the education route, and but it's all good. And my true major was studies in the right foot of fellowship. Uh, you know, you know
Yeah,
what that is. Getting booted out, and that
yeah.
and I joke, but at the same time I don't joke because I learned a lot from my experience there, and I know we're gonna get into it about
Yeah,
how in
man.
depth it was.
Yeah, and pretty much we talked about it before. It was between 3 weeks and 6 weeks for me, but it was kind of like I guess we were talking about it 6 or 7 weeks. It was about
Right?
2 months, and around October 20th, you said you kind of were out of Valley Forge, and I remember you coming back a couple times to visit us, and we would sit down on the stoop and see. I didn't remember. I kind of thought you were from 24 up, but I
Mhm.
remember you always just being downstairs. We were
Yeah.
always in the hallway. We were always hanging out. We were always outside. I think you probably were in some, some of the frisbee games that we were doing outside
Oh
and
yeah.
everything. Yeah. And so, yeah, man, I just remember we fell in love with you. So I think probably by the next semester, if you were still around, you would be on 24 down. So you're still 24 down
Yeah.
family.
No, I definitely think you're right. I was thinking about it too at that time, because I was like, I mean, my roommate was cool upstairs. He was cool, but it was quiet, and it was pretty quiet upstairs. But I just gelled with you guys so much. I'm like, these are my dudes.
Yeah.
Um, and I agree. I would have been there come January if I had the chance.
Yeah, man. Do you remember who your roommate, what his name was?
Yes, Jeff Mifflin.
Okay. Don't remember him at all. Okay.
So he was pretty quiet. You,
Yeah,
you want
yeah.
to know a little interesting tidbit here? Ashley Hoops.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
So
actually been
yeah,
talking to her recently.
oh, she's awesome, man. So we got this interesting connection because Jeff was her boyfriend, and I am like the only person that she stays in contact with now that knew her boyfriend at Valley Forge. And she actually lives down the road from me now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not too far, like I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. And my wife knew her way before I knew her, I think.
Wow.
Which, we can get into that later, some of the stuff with my wife and I. It's so cool how we met, and I'm sure that'll be a few questions down.
That's awesome, man, because yeah, Ashley is awesome. I remember her on campus, but now we kind of reconnected as well and
Yeah,
talking here and there. And that's how we kind of got reconnected because we were kind of like going through her like on Facebook and whatnot.
yeah.
And then we saw each other and then we started messaging and stuff. And that's really awesome, man. I want to know before you even get into the update, after Valley Forge, I don't even want you to get into the incident yet until
All right,
until after your update, because we
sure.
really want to get into that. What kind of made you migrate downstairs for those, 6 to 8 weeks? Like, do you remember your first impressions? Tell me your first impressions of 24 up, and then your first impressions of like 24 down and wanted to hang with us.
All right. Well, 24 up. For the most part, it's where I laid my head and went to sleep. I mean, that was really it for me. I didn't really. I mean, there were a couple times I played Halo with the guys down the hall, and that was about it, really. Didn't really relate with them too much. So we had those, I forgot what they call them, the breakout groups or whatever, and I didn't really attend. Or I went to one, I think it was the only one I went to, and the whole time it was all about body image. Which, okay, I get that. A lot of people have issues with that. Quite frankly, I never have, not at all. And I was like, I cannot relate to this. You guys are cool, you're good, but I'm gonna go hang out with the dudes downstairs that are stealing the guys' towels in the showers and whipping them and making jokes and stuff, because that's just hilarious. That's funny, you know. And these dudes, they run around playing football and frisbee, and they're making ridiculous jokes. Hey, that's cool, man. That's the college experience. So, I like to experience a lot of different things, a lot of different people and situations, and sometimes it gets me into trouble, obviously, but I loved it. I would go down there all the time, and when it was time for me to be totally chill, sometimes you have those moments where like, hey, I gotta chill, I gotta be quiet. I go upstairs. So that's kind of how it went. It was a good balance I had, and I definitely liked hanging out with y'all.
That's cool, man. Who do you think, like on campus, who do you think you were most closest to?
In that short time, I think perhaps the first person I talked with a lot was JP. And by the way, I think I was the first person to call him JP. I know.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. He was cool.
And for everyone listening, John Perez, right?
John Perez, yeah. He's a good dude. Some of the girls were cool. There was like Sarah Goose and Aaron Millett. We had this thing where I would call them my sisters. They called me their brother. And I was like, that's cool. That's cool. Another dude, Tim, man. Tim was, it's a cool dude. He helped me visit the campus later on after I got booted off, and he was really cool. So I think those people, and I apologize if I'm leaving out anyone who feels that we're really close and good, and we were, but I think those are the names off the top of my head that I would have to say.
That's cool. Yeah, I actually forgot about Aaron Millett. She was she was kind of a serious one most of the time. I don't know if you would say that. Yeah. And then Sarah Goose. She's doing well right now. She's pastoring with her husband Donovan right now, I think.
Yeah. I see on Facebook.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. All right, man. Yo, don't get into the situation yet. We want to get into it. But give me an update of pretty much, Fraz post Valley Forge up till now.
It's hard not to get into the incident because that shaped a lot of what I did afterwards. So I'll touch on the incident, just a tiny touch.
Yep.
So the incident, we got booted out. I partied, went crazy. That's a super quick version of it. Now afterwards, so immediately after, I want to get into that. I felt awful. I felt so bad about, I felt like I wrecked people's lives. I wrecked my own life. And so immediately after, I just worked full time and went to school full time. And I finished my associate's degree down here in Northern Virginia. And, it was kind of, I felt like I was atoning, I got to get this right. And I eventually transferred to George Mason University, and I studied social sciences for secondary education there. So a lot of history, government, sociology, all that kind of cool stuff. That time in my life was pretty wild, if you count the college time through right after college, I recently counted, I had 35 different roommates. So just moving from one place to another, just hanging out with all kinds of different people, all kinds of new situations. I would quickly touch on two key marquee incidents with George Mason. One was, hey, do you follow like college basketball, college hoops?
I don't know sports at all, but
that's lame.
You can mention it, man. I got 3 kids, bro. That's my sport.
Okay, they're going to be playing sports soon. You're going to be cheering them on. Okay, so all right. So George Mason University went to the Final Four, the big dance, and this was a huge deal because they were the Cinderella team. So that was a big thing. I went to Indianapolis to watch them. I was on TV many times, and that was just awesome. So anyone listening, anyone who follows sports, that was so awesome. I loved it. Um, Other incidents I had, like I got into partying, So I would say after Valley Forge, I stopped completely, abstained from any nuttiness for like 6, 8, 9, 10 months, something like that. But then when I went back to went to George Mason University, I was crazy, man. All the fraternities wanted me, and I was like, I feel so honored, I guess. But I didn't do a fraternity, but we kind of made our own. We were at this house right next to campus, and it was just bonkers. Um, it got bad though. I definitely had a lot of moments of, man, this is not cool. I don't know how I got home. Oh my gosh, I drove, the stupid things. And one night, we threw this raging stupid party, and there were some guys with guns there apparently, and it was really bad. And apparently, I drunkenly was just like, ugh, and I got assaulted. You ever watch the movie The Hangover? You know about The Hangover?
Yeah, one of my favorites.
All right, so in The Hangover, I relate to that dude who woke up and he was like, "What happened?" Because my nose was on this side of my face. I was missing a tooth. I couldn't remember anything. I got messed up, messed up. So that I still didn't quite change after that, but that was like a defining moment at that school. I had my defining moment at the Forge, but then at that school of, man, I'm just going bonkers. So to fly through the recap here, things straightened up. I went to I completed George Mason University. I started working at Northern Virginia Community College as a test proctor, testing center instructor. I and really the thing that happened at Valley Forge that we'll get into, it really shapes a lot of my philosophy moving forward as a higher education professional. Big time. In fact, I wrote about it in my entrance essay to various colleges, and I wrote about it in many of my essays I had to write while studying education. About just the lessons you learn, the things that you do impact people and you don't even know it. And yeah, there's bad stuff that happens. You see the bad impacts, but you don't even know the good ones, but they are for sure there. So, from George Mason, I went to University of Virginia, have a master's degree in educational psychology there. I've worked many different jobs at NOVA, that's what I call Northern Virginia Community College. Many jobs, financial aid, counseling, teaching, project management, managing these grants, advising students in different capacities, going into high schools, PR stuff, rubbing elbows with the president, all that cool stuff. And that was really cool. So I went through all that. I'll touch on the career thing first, then I'll get into family. Career, and this is all very timely because my time came to an end there. They let me go with the whole pandemic. And I love that I'm doing this podcast right now because I feel like I'm wrapping up my mission on college. And I'm now entering K-12. I'm now entering teaching. I'm going to start teaching next month, actually, at a middle school. So this is all really cool. So anyways, rewinding back a bit, I'm all over the place, aren't I? So going back a bit, I met my amazing wife, 2008. And this is a God thing. It's a great thing, how we met. We met internet dating, 2008, where it wasn't quite so big then. It was still a little weird, like, oh, you meet people online? Oh, you're so weird, man. But, we met then. And what we realized when we met each other is that, wow, we went to the same schools. We went to the same college. We went to the same high school. We went to the same middle school. We went to the same elementary school. And she was a grade below me. And we have all these friends in common. And so how did we never meet each other? What the heck? And then we're thinking, well, if we did meet earlier on, you would want nothing to do with me. And likewise, So that was an amazing thing, meeting her in 2008. Then we got married 2013. Now have an awesome, energetic, wild child, Clara. She's now 3.5 years old, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell, right there. That's how I've been.
That's awesome, man. So you guys had a good time together with each other, dating, married before you had a kid.
We did some traveling. We just enjoyed each other's company. I get a little bit of crap for waiting, 4.5 years, 5 years, but I don't regret it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had our things we had to get done.
You were doing your school thing, man, and everything like
She was
that.
too. Yep.
Yeah. Huh? Hold on a second. Yeah, man. I mean, that's awesome stuff that's happened, and I mean, uh, you did a good job explaining it. I don't have any follow up questions. But
Oh
it's
man.
awesome that now
Okay.
you're going to be going into a middle school. You're excited about that. You're ready for
Yes.
that. Is it going to be like in person? Is it going to be Zoom? Is it going to be both? Do you even
Well,
know?
I mean, no one really knows. I mean, I think I'm starting virtually in January, and then it's supposed to be in person in February, but then people are talking about it not being virtual. Hey, at this point, you can decide to get worked up over it, or you can just go with the flow. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'll do what you need to do,
Yeah.
make it happen. Eventually, we're all going to be in person. Okay, eventually, this crap is going to be done.
Yeah.
And it's all about the long game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. Well, my kids, I have three kids. Two of them are in school, and we opted for just remote being at home right now, just to keep them safe. Not everyone knows what this COVID thing's about and everything, and everyone's on some side or whatever. But
Yeah.
even with their school right now, actually, both of their classes just went remote. I think it was yesterday, because like almost the whole school like had to quarantine, and so
Oh wow.
everyone's home. The teachers are home, even the principal's home, and all
So
that
y'all have
stuff.
the choice. Well, did you have the choice at first?
We have the choice in
Then
New
I
York.
see. Okay.
Yeah, so we can either be in class sometimes and at home sometimes, or all in class or all at home. So we said, let's just do at home.
Right.
And actually, they're doing really good. They're actually like that their classmates are on Zoom right now, because they could see everyone. And my my daughter was like, I just made 5 new friends. I have 5 new classmates I didn't even know about, because you don't get to talk to the ones that are in school
Right.
already, just the ones that are on Zoom and stuff. So
Yeah.
but their social lives are still there, thank God. But it's just so crazy. And now I know you're in Virginia, so it's
Yeah.
it gets kind of cold down there, but it's already cold up here. It's in the 30s and stuff and everything. And today was in the 50s, so that was nice. But
Yeah.
they can't go outside as much and all that stuff. So, but yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know if there's really no side. I mean, I guess people choose to do different things, mask or no mask. And I just hate how everything just gets so politicized. It's like just
yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. So yeah, man, I want to before we get into the questions, actually, pretty much the first question here is from a guy
Yeah.
named Wolfie. I don't know if you knew Wolfie. A lot of these guys were here like the year after us, and then
Okay.
even like 2 years after us. But definitely something really special got started on 24 Down, especially the year, you were there, I was there.
Oh yeah.
Something started to happen and everything. And that just kept going and getting bigger and bigger. And, at first it was just a brotherhood. And then
Yeah.
we got into sports the second year. I know you would be into sports with us,
Oh
man. You would be
man.
playing with us, man.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
We did a lot of sports there. We
we
had our
did.
unofficial tackle football, and we had
Yeah,
the ultimate
yeah.
frisbee and
I can
oh
remember
man.
you like getting up from like being tackled or tackling someone. You were a pretty good tackler, I think. You
Yeah, yeah.
you have to share some stories, because that is coming back to me now. You were pretty fast and you would tackle people, and that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Not trying to brag, but yeah, yeah. And I tackled some people. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So not only when you left, it was like, oh man, there's our friend. It was like, oh man, there's our possible teammate, our future teammate, man. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So pretty much, Wolfie, his question is, why'd you get kicked out?
There we go. The $1 million question. Let's go. Why did I get kicked out? I mean, quick answer is I was an idiot. Um, I typed this up. I'm right. If you see me looking up, I'm kind of looking at notes. But you know what? I'm just gonna go off the head here and let's go with it. So there was a group of people that decided to go partying one night, and I was in that group of people. And so I would say for about a week and a half or so, we were planning this. And in planning it, we kind of broke off in our own little group and we talk about it and just talk about whatever too. So we would plan, all right, who's going to get the liquor? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? I was, here's an interesting tidbit you may not know. I was not a freshman when I was there. Um, I was, I just turned 21 in October, so I was able to buy this stuff, the alcohol and all that stuff. And so a lot of responsibility was put on me to do that. And um, yep, we determined I would buy the alcohol. So we kept meeting. Just to get a little more in depth, I know one of you all called this the worst kept secret at Valley Forge because word leaked out. Hey, some people are going to go clubbing. They're going to go crazy. Get a hotel room. All that. Yeah. And we kept it in a small group, but then we're like, hey, does this person want to go? This person, okay. Oh no, they shouldn't go. Okay, fine, we'll let them. Okay, they're going to join the team, or not the team, join the group. And so we get more and more, and then one or two times we decided, we should call it off. It's just too risky. People know. But then there's the other side of everything in which you thought, danger, man, this is cool. We're like footloose, or we're going to go dancing when the town doesn't want us to go dancing. And so we had that edge too, where it's like, hey, we're the bad boys and bad girls. We're going to do this. So we kept it going. We eventually got it done. We went out to some crappy nightclub called Chrome in Philadelphia. So we went out there. We went to a hotel room. I got all the alcohol. We did a lot of our partying in the hotel room. There's a group. There's a bunch. I could talk about it later. The people who went, if you're curious, I think I know who. I think I can name them all. But we all hung out. We drank, got crazy. We went to this club, and there's like no one there. It was so funny. There's like no one there. It wasn't even that great. And we went back to the hotel room and got crazy. Wrapped it up. Called it a night. I got blitzed. I was pretty bad. We took my car. I definitely did not drive on the way back. In fact, I puked out of the back of my car and covered my car in my guts. It was disgusting. So we got back, and then a couple days passed, and we're like, okay, it happened. And then it's like, oh, Mark Talesha. I had actually never seen him, by the way. I didn't know who this guy was. He's just like this big dude just kind of floating around like, oh, okay. He's like, hey guys, want to play Xbox? What? Who are you? Okay, cool. All right. He knows something's up. He obviously knows something's up. And then it was like a day later, he's like, dude, you're in trouble. And that was it. So we find out that we're going to meet up with some people to talk about the incident. And our group, we had coordinated lies. We were like, okay, we all went to this guy's house. We're hanging out. We ate turkey. It was cool. And yeah, we just got a little late. Sorry, we broke curfew, but whoops, we broke curfew. That was the plan. And we all kept saying, everyone's got to stick to this lie. Well, we all got to say it. We all got to say it. I'm pretty sure that someone was on the inside. There's a girl I think I know of who called me while we were out clubbing and partying, who I think was kind of feeding information. I don't know if I want to get into that. But anyways, yeah, we decided we're all going to tell the story, and we kept talking to each other all the time. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? And I was interviewed. A bunch of other people were interviewed. And when I was interviewed, I told the lie story. And other people were interviewed, And I think I have a theory, I could be wrong, but I have a theory that those who told the truth were just suspended. Those who did not tell the truth, you're out of here. I think that's what happened. Um, and I was booted out. Apparently I was pegged as a ringleader, and I guess maybe I was, I was organizing it, and okay, I deserve it. I totally deserve to get booted. Um, and Valley Forge, they very nicely, a couple weeks later, sent me a letter in the mail telling me all the things I had done wrong, including smoking cloves, which is like cigars, and drinking and dancing, and I mean this list of like 20 things. I was like, thanks, and that's it in a nutshell right there. That's kind of
Yeah.
where that's how it went down.
A couple of follow-up questions
Yeah.
to go a little deeper. How many people were involved in the whole thing? Going there and everything like that.
All right. Right now I'm counting my fingers. I actually have the notes up here. I believe 9.
Wow.
I believe 9 people went. Um, so it was myself. It was Mac, Ashley Fannin, this dude named Cody from 24 Up, Texas Matt. Do y'all remember Texas Matt?
I think I do. Yeah.
That guy was something else. I got stories about him.
Hmm.
Mark Del Tufo, Asian dude. Joe Flores, Sonny something, girl named Cassie. I believe that's all the people right there. And then
Yeah.
about like 5 of us got booted, and the rest of us were suspended.
Yeah. I remember that, yeah, you guys got kicked out and some were able to stay, and we were like, why do these people get, are able to stay? We didn't know why they were
Right.
able to stay. I remember Ashley was a person that got able to stay. I'm not sure about Joe. I know at
Oh, he
some
was booted.
time he was, yeah, because I remember he was staying with Ronell, if you remember Ronell.
Yeah.
And then Ronell had his own room for like almost a whole semester. So
Nice.
like everyone had their own room pretty much that got, booted, their roommates and everything.
Yes, you're welcome, everyone.
But I
Right.
remember that Texas guy. I remember him a little. He always used to wear a hat, right?
My name's Texas Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Oh gosh, he had some
See,
funny.
I think it was you and him that I missed the most, and Joe
Yeah.
as well, because
Yeah.
you were actually one of the clowns in Joe's prank, correct?
You remember it? Yes.
Bro, I thought that was
Yes.
so further
That was,
into the year, and it was like in the first 6 weeks.
yes, it was. It was, man.
We'll get into that in a little bit, but
Totally, man.
this is crazy, man. Yeah. And listen, like I said, our audience is not far reaching, and like I said,
Yeah.
we have somewhere between like 70 to maybe 120 people listening.
Nice. Okay.
It's everyone that is friends of 24 Down. So who was the rat? If you don't want to say it here, you could tell me later.
Well, I don't know if I want to say because I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't want to incriminate someone who didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I had talked with and or dated a lot of girl in that short amount of time. It was stupid.
Really?
How many? It was stupid. It was dumb. But one of them from like 2 weeks before, I think is the one.
Okay.
And maybe I'll tell you off the air. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just want to know. I just want to know something.
Sure.
Did you ever date Sarah Goose?
Not really. I mean, we talked some. I would say
Okay.
that. I
Okay.
want to say date, but talked for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
We're
Because
on
I mean,
on the
in
verge there.
a week is like a month.
Yeah.
At Valley Forge. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Getting
yeah.
to know someone. Yeah. I wanted to also ask, like, how did you guys come up? How did you guys start planning this? Like, where did it come from? Like, who brought it up? Like, how did this like originate?
So, if we want to get really deep into that, I would say, and we can get to this incident a little later too. There's another big incident.
Okay.
Remember the KKK Nazi rally that happened down the road?
I kind of remember something like that.
So it went down, and there were just a few of us from Valley Forge that like we're gonna go. Of course, not being a part of it, but
Hmm.
we did some little protesting. We were just there to watch what's going on, and there were three or four of us from that group who went. And I think that the seeds were planted in our minds that, you know what, we're badasses. Hey, this is cool, man. We're doing things on the edge, man. We're different, and I think that kind of planted the seeds.
Hmm.
And sorry, the question again. You're saying how,
Like, how did you guys start planning this?
right?
Like, where
Okay,
did the idea come from? Yeah.
so that's kind of the seeds planted, and then the idea, it just came from just talking, well, whatever. And we talked about where we were before Valley Forge. I myself, I was 21 at the time, and I had an established life before. I was working jobs, I was going to school, I was partying myself, I was doing all this stuff myself, and that was established who I was. And these other people, same thing. They were partiers as well. It was out of high school even. They did different stuff. They're like, yeah, that's fun, dude. We should do this. We can do it here. We got to keep it on the DL, but we could totally do this. Um, and so it was just through conversation, and then we started that little group where we just kind of hang out over at the Valley Forge Park or on the nature trail. We just hang out there and smoke our cloves and act cool and just conspire. And that's kind of how it started and how it grew.
Yeah, yeah. I could see how that happened. So this is what I and this is there's no judgment in this whole
Sure.
episode, but I just in this question it might sound like judgment, but how did you like knowing that you maybe wanted to do those certain things, and you said that even like before you were doing some partying,
Yeah.
how did you choose Valley Forge as a school that you wanted to go to? Like, how did you hear about it? How did you choose this school?
Well, that's a great question. So I'm a PK.
Oh wow, I forgot that.
Yeah, man, I'm a PK. So it was always just kind of assumed that, if I'm not in a pastor role, I'm just going to be in this culture all my life. And this is what you do. You go to a Bible college and you do this and that, and that's just life, man. So I I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, but I knew that, hey, there's just the next step you've got to take, and it's going to a 4-year college because I had nearly completed my associate's degree at the community college. And so my parents, there was a bit of pressure, I would say, like, hey, check out Valley Forge. Um, I really wanted to go to George Mason the whole time. In the back of my mind, it's like I had a lot of friends actually I hung out with from George Mason while I was at the community college, and Mason is like right down the road from me and everything. I kind of wanted there, but I had that kind of a lot of pressure to go to Valley Forge, and I had a couple of scholarships as well. Um, so it was one of those things where I wasn't like, yeah, I want to go, but hey, you write the entrance letter, and you have when you write a letter to be persuasive, you don't say I don't really want to go. No,
Mm,
you do it. So I halfway buy into it, and I make it look like I really want to go, and then I was accepted, and this is what you do. This is what you do next in life, and you do it, and
mm.
that's why I did it.
Yeah, and when we were first signing up for colleges, when we were young and everything, we think, oh man, I hope they pick us. But Valley Forge is asking for students. They're just like
Yeah.
going into the city and saying, hey, you come, pretty
Hmm.
much, because it's sadly it was about money as well.
Well,
But
yep.
yeah,
It's
but
college. We can get deep into
yeah.
college if you want, but it's a business. It really
Oh yeah,
is.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I just have here, man, the word honest, man. You were always honest from the get go. I know you said that you guys came up with a story and everything, because really
Yeah.
you weren't trying to save just your own butt. You're trying to save everyone else's butt.
Right.
And so that's why you came up with that story to tell student life and whatnot. But you were always honest with us. I remember
Yeah.
you told us, hey, I'm getting kicked out because of this, and we did this. And I remember you telling us that story and us seeing the stains on your car of you just like puking
God, do you
butts
remember that?
out and everything. Yeah, I remember that, man.
Oh no.
But yeah, man. I mean, kind of take us through. You said that you talked to Mark Talesha. Take us through like the
Yeah.
whole student life. What you went through with student life.
Um, it really wasn't a whole lot. It was just um, like, hey, we got to meet, and we met, and I forget who was even there. I don't know if I just blocked it from my memory or what, but I don't even remember who was there. but we talked some, and I gave the story of the fib, and they asked again, and I gave the fib again. And that was it. And I was free to walk. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got the news that I was getting booted out, and I appealed. I wanted to appeal it. I wrote a big essay about like, yeah, I did it. I feel bad. I'll do anything to stay. Um, you know, uh, I can go into classes and talk with people about how not to be bad. I could do this and that. I'm willing to do all of this stuff. And they said, no, you're still gone. Um, there really wasn't a whole lot of interaction, but I do remember them saying, and if we want to cut deep here, that I was told that, hey, we care about you, and we, moving forward from Valley Forge, we care about you, and that was a big hot load of crap, because they didn't. When when you tell somebody that you care about them, you have to follow it up with something. It's like saying I love you and then you smack them, or you don't do that. You follow up with them. So that was a dagger. I was always waiting. I was waiting for like a phone call. How are you? Or even a letter, or hey, here's a book we're reading. Check this out. No, I got nothing. And I got that letter with like 20 different things I did wrong, and it said, "Do not go back to campus.
Wow.
We care about you.
Mm-hmm.
Here's all the stuff you did wrong. Don't come back."
Mm-hmm.
2 years later, afterwards, the wounds were healing, things were getting figured out. I did hear back from Valley Forge. And what I heard back was not directly from Valley Forge. It was from a debt collector saying that you owe us, I don't know, like 800 something dollars. And that was pretty bad because, well, I don't want to name names, but people told us debt free and clear. Done. Everything is done. And so, so that was pretty tough right there, and that we finally do hear back, and it's that. And quite frankly, my family is not the ones you want to mess with that, for two reasons. One, my dad is a presbyter. That's like a cardinal, and you don't do that. And secondly, I have a career in higher education where I advise people on where to go to college. And you don't do that. You just shouldn't do it to anyone, especially people who can have influence. And at the end of the day, I don't harbor resentment. I understand that people are busy, things are going on. You got to move on. I'm the transgressor. I'm not trying to play a victim. I am the transgressor. The only thing I can do when moving forward in that is know this is how I'm going to conduct myself moving forward.
Yeah.
And, I gained a lot of responsibility in the community college. I mean, I was managing grants. I was figuring out all kinds of things. And I learned a couple things I stuck to really hard was don't screw with people's money. And which is crazy because in college, it's one of the few things that you pay boatloads of money to, but you don't even know the real cost exactly, and you don't know exactly the financial resources for it. Mm-hmm. But I made sure no matter what, we're going to figure it out for whoever it is. And you don't mess with their money, and you're up front with them, and you follow through with them. Mm-hmm. And, you keep your word too when you're working with students. So again, the people involved, okay. I was a lot worse than them. I can't judge them, but I learned firsthand how it is to be on a certain side of things. And I actually eventually, one of my many roles at the community college was conduct officer, where I could kick people out. And I had to, and in that, a lot of things I learned from that as well. So in the long run, like it stung really bad at first, and I was just pretty resentful, but I'm not now. I learned from it and moved forward. And that's pretty much the experience I had.
Cool, man. Yeah, I was going to ask just two more follow-up questions there, and then we'll get to the clown prank, because that was an elaborate prank to even pull off within the first 6 weeks of school. I mean, come on. Like that was awesome.
Yeah.
So the first question, the next question I have is, so I forgot you were a PK. For everyone that doesn't know what that is, a pastor's kid. And so, you end up at Valley Forge and you end up getting kicked out. How was that for your parents? How was that for your dad? Was
Mm.
there any shame there, guilt there for you or for the family?
That's a good question. I'll tell you, I mean, even though Pennsylvania and Virginia aren't very far, that was the longest road trip of my life. Going back, when my dad picked me up, there were moments of silence and moments of "Rrr," and moments of reconciling, which all kind of wrapped up. But it was a long healing process. Um, at very first, me and some of the guys who were kicked out were talking about how do we escape from this, and they went up to Niagara. Good for them. I kind of felt like I was running from it, but whatever you want to call it, that's their thing. And the whole time I was remembering something my sixth grade teacher told me. She put this personalized quote on everyone's like end of the year package she gave us, and the quote was, "If you're not afraid to face the music, you may one day lead the band." And I was like, I got to face the music. I've got to go back to the church where people are going to ask, "Hey, I thought you were in college in Valley Forge." I've got to face my parents. I've got to do all this stuff. And I told my parents I'd pay them back for whatever they paid. I I worked really hard. I was doing what I could to atone for it, and it was pretty tough for a while. But really, it was mostly tough internally on myself. I mean, I thought about that day just about every day of my life for a couple years. Um, and it kind of went from guilt to learning and understanding and kind of seeing things. I mean, and I also learned in the process, seeing how other people's lives are rolling out, that life goes on. Crap happens. Life goes on. Um, and people are going to see you, and I didn't get a whole lot of people saying you're so bad, you are a partying drinker sinner. I actually didn't get a lot of that. I don't know if I really got any. I know that there's some people who maybe thought it, but I really didn't, which I'm thankful for. I may have deserved it, but that it wasn't too bad. um but overall, it was a healing process, and we worked it out, and now it's just a wrinkle in time that we can talk about, even joke about, and learn from and move on with.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, your dad's still pastoring?
He is, yes.
Okay, cool. Where's your relationship with God and the church? Like, where are you at right now?
It's pretty good. I've attended church. I still do with my family. With God, yeah, I mean, we're pretty good. I think I sometimes have some differing ideas from a lot of folks in the church, and some similar ideas, some differing ideas. Um, I think that God has a different message and idea for each person. I mean, there's some things that's printed in the Word, that's good, but some things are going to jump out to individuals in different ways. And I see, I do my best to do the right thing and be a good influence to people and just show His love and not be judgmental and all that other stuff. Um, because a couple things that I believe in so much are, you know, when Jesus said, "Hey, if you love me, feed my sheep. If you love me, feed my," he said it three times. Like, he says it three times, you better listen. And that's such a huge thing in my profession and my personal life. Like, serving others is serving God. Um, so I definitely, I try my best to do that. Um, I also, when you look at things like the partying and the drinking, this and that, um, I kind of believed it then and I believe it now, and I'm not trying to downplay myself, but I believe that there are some pretty bad sins out there that people don't think of at all, that are happening rampantly. Um, Eating crap. I mean, that is a massive one. If you look at, and I do my best to not do that, but that's a massive one.
Number one, probably. Yeah.
Oh, it's huge. Eating a lot of crap. When you look at, like, the the total deaths and the destruction and the money spent on different sins in the United States, heart disease and all that other stuff, tip top. It's top. It's bigger. If you do not mention that when you're mentioning other things, says gluttony and all that, it's there. Um, so my views, in Christianity and God is sometimes we've got to put things back into the right perspective and not the perspective that has been made for us. Like, you partied, you're bad, and I'm over here gossiping and making things bad and eating garbage and all that, and no one bats an eye. So I think I don't want to judge people who do eat crap and talk bad and are negative and nasty to people and all that, but you just got to love them too and see it in the real perspective um, of godliness. Which, by the way, dude, I saw you're making super progress with your exercise and dieting program. Dude, that's totally awesome. I
Thanks,
know,
man.
I know that's so tough because like it's ingrained in your psyche to be a certain way, but to change your ways, so awesome. So mad props to you, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, man. I'm hoping. Like I started my my journey at like over 400 pounds.
Wow.
So now I'm in the like low 330s.
Okay.
And so I was 320 at Valley Forge. And then I was also 320 in high school. So I'm almost down to my high school weight, which is pretty
Wow.
crazy.
That's
And
good, man.
so 320, and then I'm hoping to be down like 100 pounds by my birthday, which is in February. So I'm hoping that, yeah, I got to keep on going. It's hard, but it's definitely something that's worth it. I feel so much better. I
Yeah.
feel amazing, man. Getting rid of all that crap. And
That's
also what
yeah.
I found was it's obviously not just physical. As I'm losing weight, it's not just physical health, it's
Right.
mental health, it's spiritual health. I feel
Yeah.
closer to God, even like it was one of my biggest sins, and it is one of my
Right.
biggest sins that I struggle with every single day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're totally right, man. And it's something that really it affects your all round overall well-being. It really does. Even your finances. I have a
Yeah.
lot more money because I'm not buying crap.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
'Cause crap, yes, it is lower price, but you just buy it every day. Like, going to fast food all the time, like dropping down 10, $20 for myself just in a meal,
Right.
bro. 3,000
That's true.
calories.
That's true.
Oh man, yeah, definitely, man. We can get into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's get to these questions. I'm not going to forget the clowns, and you got to stick around for the clowns, everyone, because it is amazing. I talked a little
Yes.
bit about it on my podcast, if you remember, and that was the biggest prank I think we've ever done. Most elaborate. We almost killed someone. So it was pretty great. So Wolfie has another one. We got into why you got kicked out, right? And we
Right.
kind of want to get past that. And he says, if you didn't get kicked out, how long do you think you would have stayed at Valley Forge?
Well, the whole time. I mean, when I was telling my story and I was talking about how I made an appeal to not get out and I lied to not, um, one of my characteristics is you don't quit. I had a perfect attendance and all these things growing up, and you just don't quit. You push, you push. So I think if I didn't, I don't think I would have chanced it much more going partying and stuff. I don't think I would have, or maybe I would have. I don't know. It's hard to know. But I would have wanted to keep going, studying hard, doing well as best as I can. Um, so my intentions for sure is to be the whole way. Reality, maybe, maybe I would edge on the side of yeah, definitely would have. But there's definitely a chance that I would have done something stupid
Mhm.
and gotten booted.
Mhm.
Um, by the way, can I take a? I got to whiz like a racehorse,
Sure.
man. Could I?
Go ahead, man.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, so I don't have to edit anything. I just want to let everyone know what's going on. We have a special Christmas episode coming out real soon. and I don't want to kind of give it up when it's coming out, but definitely around Christmas time, we have the admins and the hosts and the co-hosts of 24 Down podcast. We are going to be we got together. It's already recorded. We had a great time recording it. It's a pretty long one, maybe over 2 hours or so, and we go through all the episodes up until last week, and we just go through them. We kind of comment on them, and it's kind of like the director's cut of 24 Down podcast and everything. And we go into, even the present, we go into the future, what 24 Down kind of, may look like, will look like. And, let us know. Let us know what you want us to do on the podcast. And Fraz is coming back now. So, hey.
Hey,
You ready? All right.
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So yeah, man, but you would have definitely moved down to 24 down. I know that.
Oh yeah, would have gotten in all
So
kinds of trouble, man. Like I live fast and hard. I would have turned it up a couple notches. So who
yeah,
knows, man?
exactly. So Wolfie has his last question here. He has this
Yeah.
question for every one of the guests, and his question is, if you would have had a building on 24, a building on Valley Forge, or like an area on the campus that would be like named after you, what would it be? What would it be named other than 24?
So named after me.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I would say the area right in 424, like Fraz Plaza. Like it's
Yeah,
where you
man.
hang out and play football and just fart around and whatever. That was pretty cool.
Break an ankle, because definitely there were a lot of divots in there. You had to be careful.
Yeah. Oh, I know that field, man. And that
Yeah.
the 24 down, that building was decrepit.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. And 24 up, you go in the closet and look up, you can see the sky.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing. And later on, didn't it turn into a closet or something? The whole downstairs of 24. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty much, it became like a supply building, pretty much,
Oh
and
man.
now that's what it is. It might be knocked down soon, which is sad, but it was a piece of crap, but definitely loved it.
But
Because
you
I
know
mean,
the
24 up was in worse shape than 24 down. 24 down was a little nicer, I remember.
Yeah, it was pretty bad and cramped. I mean,
Mhm.
you couldn't even open the door the whole way. I mean, until you hit a bed.
Wow.
And what I find fascinating, I like history and stuff. What I find fascinating is that it was that World War II era hospital where they're shipping over people, injured soldiers, and I'm
Mhm.
like, who died in my room? Like whose leg got sawed off in this room? Like
Yeah,
it's
I never thought
fascinating.
about that, but definitely, man. So we have the next set of questions is from one of our 24 down girls, Colleen. I'm not sure if you ever met Colleen. She's the one with the kind of, I think she has red hair, and
Okay,
but yeah. So she says, why did you decide? Oh, we already went over that. Sorry. Why did you decide to go to Valley Forge? We did go over that.
this was the thing
Uh,
to do.
yeah, yeah. If you could have changed one rule at Valley Forge, what would it have been?
Curfew probably, and they did later on. I know that.
Yeah. They changed it either after that semester or after that year. It
Yeah,
was
we broke them in. Yeah,
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 it was a weird rule, man. Like, okay, like now that we're in our 30s, I mean, I know, yeah, we were
20s.
young kids and stuff, but
Yeah,
when we were 18, we thought we were adults, we could take care of ourselves. So, oh, you got to be in by 1 o'clock. It's kind of weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
If
agree.
you would have been able to stay on 24 down longer, or if you were to be able to move to 24 down, would you have considered getting a 24 down tattoo?
Yeah,
There's a couple people that have it.
yeah. I consider getting one now. I mean, even though it was such a small moment in time, it's that pivotal. I mean, so much happened there, and it kind of shaped my direction. And that who did the designing of that, all the logos and stuff? Because that is just cool. That is hot, man. I
Yeah,
like it.
man. I mean, Josh Hatmaker is the founder, pretty much, and creator of the podcast,
Oh
and
man, okay.
of the 24 Down group on Facebook. Are you part of that group?
Yes, I joined
Okay,
recently.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And then, the 24 Down podcast group as well. We also have a chat if you are interested in getting in on it. It gets a little
Sure.
raunchy, actually, not a little raunchy, very raunchy.
Nice.
And yeah,
I'm down with that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then, yeah, so I know he's done a lot, but also he has people like part of 24 Down, a guy by the name Tom Rizzo,
Okay.
Matt Matias, who I believe
I know
you remember
Matthias.
Matias. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
dude,
Yeah.
Merc and Matt, I called him, or
Yeah,
we
yeah,
called him
yeah.
that, right? Merc
Because
and Matt. Yeah.
he started up on 24 Up as well too, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Oops.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was 24 up on the other side.
yeah.
That's
And then
right.
he came back, and then he came down.
Oh man,
And
yeah.
then I know Francis has done some. We have the English twins, but yeah, just a lot of people, and also check out our T-shirts as well. We have a lot of T-shirts and everything.
So
And I
cool.
know that
Yeah.
either both of the English twins or one of them. I know that Hat has one. There's a couple people that have a 24 down tattoo. I might get one that's maybe really small, maybe on my hand or something. I don't know. I have
Yeah.
one tattoo. You have tattoos?
Yeah, my butt. Let me show you real quick. Hold up.
All right, man.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't have any tattoos.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, so let's get to the next set of questions. This is from one of the Brazilian twins, and let me just tell you, there's going to be a lot of craziness in these questions. I can't remember which ones are crazy, but I'm going to ask them
That's
anyway.
fine, man.
So yeah, the Brazilian twins came about 2 years after we started, and
Okay.
they're a big part of 24 Down. So this is from Mikey, one of
Okay.
the Brazilian twins. He says, "Do you still engage in any of the activities or behaviors that you got kicked out for?"
I'm gonna do it right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Most of the 24 down guys and girls do. I'm an AG pastor, so
Right.
this is H2O right here. So
Sure. Sure. It is. Okay. All right.
it's
Okay.
clear. Yeah.
Ever clear. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I would say that's really it. I mean, I think drinking a little bit from time to time is quite fine. Um, Out of all the other things, like I'll puff on a cigar once every couple of years. That's literally it. Very, very rare. Um, I'd be on, I try to be honest and everything, no one's perfect, but I'm pretty honest. That was the big one. I don't go clubbing. That was dumb. I used to, not anymore. Um, but drinking a little bit on occasion. Yeah, I don't get drunk. The only I got actually one time this year I did when I got let go of my job of 12 years, you know, but pretty rare. Um,
Cool, man.
but that's it, man.
But a little bit of bumping and grinding with the wifey, though.
I mean, let's not talk about that. This is a family show, right? I mean, what's going on?
He has another one, which is just a really silly question. Have you ever had Brazilian nuts? What do you think of them?
I've had Brazilian steak and Brazilian meats, but not nuts. I don't think I have.
I don't know
Brazil
where
nut.
he's
There's a Brazil nut.
Yeah,
It's
Brazil
not
nut.
Brazilian. It's
Yeah,
Brazil
sorry.
nut.
Yeah, Brazil nut. Yeah.
I've had that.
Okay, cool.
I've had that Brazil nut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's trying to get with that question though, because he is Brazilian.
I have
so
a
just watch
feeling.
out. Yeah.
I think he's talking about testicles. I'm just gonna put it out there.
And next week, I believe his podcast is going to be recorded, and he did something really big on a bathroom floor, which you're supposed to do in a toilet. So I just want to put that out there.
Oh
And
man,
then,
I missed out on that stand. I could have hung out with these people and
oh my
crapped
gosh,
on the
yeah.
floor
A
and
lot of
stuff.
crap,
Oh
a
man.
lot of pee. We even had a mushroom grow out of the the bathroom tile. I don't know where it came from. It's from our poop and pee. I'm not sure.
Oh gosh,
It's pretty
that's
crazy.
great. That was great.
Yeah. So the other Brazilian twin, he his name is Junior. He has something for you. He
Okay.
says, "Do you feel it's unfair that you got kicked out for the thing that you did?"
No, of course not. I mean, that's when in Rome, the saying, like, it's the culture of Valley Forge that must be maintained, and that culture is the Christian utopia. And I get it. Okay. And when you go against that culture, you get booted out, and that's not unlike any other culture you may enter. There's a set of written and unwritten rules, and you go against it, there could be consequences. So No, it's not unfair. Um, of course, I can say that the average college student has done this stuff. I mean, it's incredibly common, 90+%, but in that environment, that's where you are. Do as the Romans do, and that's
Yeah.
so be it. I deserved
Yeah.
it.
Do you think they could have been less judgmental, less judgy, less law and order type, and more, forgiving, more gracious, more merciful? What do you think?
I mean, they could have,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but hey, if that's who you are and that reflects the values, then so be it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
be it. I mean, life moves on. When I've worked with a lot of college students, they face a lot worse. I mean, they face, losing jobs, losing lots of money, medical issues that sink them badly for life. But a lot of times, if you have the right mindset, no matter what in your situation, you can overcome it. You can get through it. So you deal with that stuff. There's mercy and justice. Sure, I get that, but at the same time, you can seek your own mercy through the justice, and
Mm.
that is being true to yourself, um, seeking God, doing what you need to do to be at peace with whatever it is that happens, and moving forward. So they are who they are. I don't like telling people they should or they could have. You are you. I mean, and
Mm.
it's I think and I like to do. I don't want to judge others. I'm just going to do what I do for myself. Like I mentioned earlier, and advise other people to do certain things and influence other people to do certain things. But at the end of the day, I can't hold grudges or think woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's they did what they did. I got what I deserved. I did what I had to do. I pushed through it. I'm better for it. I don't regret it. Valley Forge may be better for it. Who knows? And that's that. That's
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they are like today with everything. I'm hoping that they're a little more forgiving and gracious and merciful.
Mm.
I mean, they have, I don't know what this even means, but they have a like a Korean American president, for the
Oh, really?
college. Yeah, now. So
Wow.
Don Meyer left, years ago. He actually went on a fully paid sabbatical year,
Yeah.
which is really nice, right?
Yeah.
Um, but
Nice.
yeah, you ever met Don Meyer?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I met him. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, really? During the whole thing?
I think I did at that. Yeah. Yeah. I think it was one of the many.
Do you remember what he said to you?
No, I don't. I don't. I mean, there were words that I mentioned earlier that came through, and I heard them. It might have been him, might have been someone else. I'm not sure who it was, but
Mm,
not really that impactful at that
mm,
time. Frankly, I wasn't like, "Ooh, it's Don Meyer." I was like, "This is my situation. I'm going through it, and it's bigger than Don Meyer. It's bigger than that for
yeah,
me in this moment."
yeah,
Um, so I yeah, I don't remember.
yeah. We got one more, and this is from someone that you might remember. He was kind of during the year that we were there, he was mostly in his room and mostly quiet and doing other things. But
Yeah.
he became the RA of 24 Down for 2 years after that. His name is Carlos. Do you remember Carlos by any chance?
I,
He was part of 3D as well, the drama team.
maybe.
Okay.
I think I remember hearing about him. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he says, if you could develop a Valley Forge / 24 Down escape room, what would be the puzzles that you would implement to get out of the room?
Lord, man. Like, that's an assignment, man. I
I,
can't just
I
answer that
know,
on the
right?
fly. You'd have to do some crazy stuff, you have to nut tap someone, and that somehow unlocks some kind of key when you do that. And you gotta, I don't know, you gotta like, I don't know, whip some dude's butt in the shower or something, like do a little grab ass, whatever. You gotta. There's things that somehow magically keys come out of people's butts and stuff, and then you get the key and you unlock something, and then you go to the underground tunnel. So I know the cool stuff under the Valley Forge.
Yeah.
You got to go to that.
Mhm.
Did anyone ever? Do you know of anyone who ever did
Yeah,
that?
bro. You got to listen to a great episode to listen to is the founder of the podcast. His name is
Oh,
Josh Hatmaker. Please
okay.
write his name down, or I'll text it to you. Josh Hatmaker. You got to
Yeah,
listen
yeah.
to it tonight or tomorrow. You will get an insider look on a lot of things in 24 Down and Valley Forge that you
Cool.
never saw before. A lot of
Yeah.
profanity, but things like that. But great guy.
Nice. Okay. Man, I was tempted. So when I knew my goose was cooked, I was like, I should go in those tunnels and just run rampant because
Yeah.
what are they gonna do? Kick me out? Like they already
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
He went in there. I think they
Oh
also have
man.
been in, I can't remember what they called it, the natatorium where the pool is.
Okay.
They've been in there. They've been a lot of places, a lot of things. Went against a lot of rules. I'm talking about even just
Really?
in a in a mug, a cup, going around campus with some type of beer or liquor in it and stuff and everything. So
Oh, we would have hung
um,
out so much. Oh man, it
yeah,
would have been
you
great.
guys would have
Oh
got you
shoot,
guys would have got yeah, pretty much, yeah,
man.
really. So let's get to the clown
Yes.
prank, and I want you to kind of go through it and explain it to us, like how we did everything. I'll add to it if there's anything else after the clown prank that you want to add. We can definitely do it there as well.
And so Joe Flores, it's a cool dude, man. I still keep up a little bit with him on Facebook, but I found out that he had this clownophobia. We're just in conversation, found out, oh, he's freaked out by clowns. And not just like, oh, clowns are creepy, but like debilitating, like medical condition, like clowns. Really hates them. And so, of course, I thought, oh, that means we gotta freak him out. And so we devised a plan. I don't know who was with me. Was it Tim or
It was I think Tim was in there too.
I
Were
think he
you
was.
were you in the closet or on top of his bed?
I was in the closet.
Okay. So someone was on the bed and jumped down from the bed. And you and him had masks on,
That's
or
right. We dressed up as clowns, and we were just waiting for him to get back from work or whatever he was doing, and we're peeking through the closet. Like,
but bro, stop there,
yeah,
because we put like we on his computer and his roommate's
that's
computer,
right.
we put like
I forgot
a
about that.
scary clown like
I forgot
wallpapers.
about that.
Yeah, and like screensavers or whatever. We put
That's right.
the scary clown music. We turned off all the
That's
lights. We even printed out some clowns, I
oh
think,
my
or something,
goodness.
and put them on the walls and everything. And
Yes.
Ronell would always go to bed pretty early. I think he would go to bed like 11 o'clock or something like that, maybe.
Oh
And so this night he went to sleep 10, 11. It was about 10 or 11 at night.
man.
Our RA wasn't around because he was working or something. His name was Daryl at the time.
I
And
remember him.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, yeah, you guys were just waiting. One of you guys were in the bed, one of you guys were in the closet, and we were just like trying to act normal. And
Right.
so we saw him coming back from work, I guess. And yeah, he came in, and we made sure there wasn't too many people like standing around.
Yeah.
And he
No
went
suspicion.
in. Yeah, he went in his room, and I don't know what happened after that, but I know that he ran out and he was shaking and he almost had like a panic attack.
So he couldn't run out at first because we had this plan. We had this coordinated like a SEAL Team 6 coordination, taking down Bin Laden. Like we had it coordinated down to a T where he would go in, I remember this now, and he would see the computer with this freaky clown and freak out. And this happened perfectly. Freaked out. Somebody closes the door, which is locked. I pop out of the closet, and then someone behind me is filming it with one of those. It was a really crappy video back then, but with a cell phone video, or the camcorder. It was a camcorder. And I'm a clown. And so he first sees this weird thing on the computer. He's like, what the and then I jump out. I'm a clown. And he's like, oh, and he starts. And you know what he does? He doesn't swing at me at all. He kicks. It's only kicks. It's like he didn't have any arms. Just kick, kick, kick. I was like, oh, God, he's kicking me. And so he started kicking me. And then he tries to get out, and he can't get out because the door is locked. And after a while, I was like, okay, we've done this enough. And then he gets out, and he's shook.
Oh,
And we got it all on video.
yeah. And I remember he ran outside and like
Yeah.
it was like a horror movie for him. Like and we actually had to like, apologize to him and stuff, and he finally calmed down and everything. And
Hmm.
oh man,
I
that
think I actually brought that up to him about earlier this year, actually, in Facebook. We were just reminiscing about that. Yeah.
that's funny, man. Oh my
Oh man.
gosh. Yeah, that was definitely a good one. Anything else you want to bring up from your time at Valley Forge or after? Any stories, any memories?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I can look at. I mean, there's a long list actually. I mean, I'd say that Nazi KKK rally was nuts. That was a defining moment right there too. I learned so much. I didn't realize that stuff was going on that in depth in 2004.
Hmm.
I remember later on as a professor and talking with students, I would share that, and they're like, "No, that didn't happen." And then now we see
Yeah,
stuff's going down. It's
yeah.
always been simmering. So that was big. Not to bring not to bring energy down here to a serious level, but that was big. Um, what else? What else? Football was great. Watching football. Neil getting sick. I remember when he got sick,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was just thinking the whole time, like, I'm fine with this food. It's cool, but no,
Yeah.
he got sick.
He was dying.
He was. He's losing his hair a little too early. It was weird.
Yeah. Hmm.
Let's see here. All the hijinks. I remember that year, 2004, is when YouTube became a thing.
Yeah.
It was the farting preacher one was. Don't know what I'm talking about? You got to check it
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Just go
yeah,
to
yeah.
YouTube, look up farting preacher.
Yep.
Remember Tim especially, just cackling at that. It was great. Let's see here. I remember showing up the first day, and Matthias was giving shape ups and stuff, and I was like, okay,
Already?
that's cool,
Oh
man.
wow.
All right. That was like the first day, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
What else? What else? Um, Texas. I want to tell this quick thing about Texas Matt. So he is Southern. He had this accent. It was kind of a little funny at times, just the way he talked. I'm Texas Matt, talking like this. What's going on? And we went bowling. He and I and a couple girls and some guy. We went bowling, and every time he would go to roll the ball down the lane, someone would push the button that made the thing go down, and he would roll it, and then like, what the heck? What darn? And then do it again. That was just hilarious.
That's funny.
What else? Randomly calling people on the thing, that was,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, calling them, especially girls, like, ooh, she's hot, let's call her.
Yeah,
Ooh, I hung up on her.
because we pretty much had the stalker book, like the Facebook kind of
Stalker
thing,
book,
right?
that's what they
Yeah,
call
yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
right. Let's see. Zanga was a big thing. Remember Zanga?
I think, yeah, I do. Wasn't it like a online open diary or journal or something that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny because MySpace was around then.
Yep.
Facebook came like a year after, I think, 2005 maybe.
It was. I tried to claim credit for bringing Facebook to Valley Forge. I was like, this is so cool, guys. Check this out. And I
Yeah,
don't know.
I
I probably,
remember the thing I
yeah,
remember is like with Facebook, it was like I think it came around 2004, 2005,
yeah.
and I remember my wife. I mean, she was my girlfriend at the time. My girlfriend's school had it first, and she was at Widener University in Chester, Pennsylvania, like
Oh,
right
okay. Yeah.
outside of Philadelphia. And so like I was like, man, I want ours. And so we kept on waiting. We're like, yeah, no one's gonna add Valley Forge Christian College, And finally they did. We were like so happy, yeah. And we're
Yeah.
just like, oh, let me write on your wall. Let me write on your wall. Because that's all you could really do. It
That
was
was really it.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yep. That's right. That was at that time too. Like, it was interesting in that little time. We had YouTube, we had Facebook, we had all these things that are big staples now. Just
Yeah.
right
And,
then.
and yeah, that was when, no one really knew what YouTube was
Yeah.
until like Google bought it out, and
Right.
then like because there was things like YouTube there, I never heard of it until Google bought it out, but then there was like stupidvideos.com, like
Yeah, I
stuff like
remember that.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
Stupid videos.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, that's right. That might be where we watched Farting Preacher. I thought it was
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
It
I
might have
think
been
so.
that one.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see here. I mean, just the general camaraderie there was pretty cool. I mean, all the
Mhm.
guys. I mean, they were all just so chill. Um, that I mean, I just kind of flew through there. I remember what Toby, I think, got left at the mall one time. I think that
I
was
think I
bad.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was sad. Yeah, and he had to call his this girl that he was kind of seeing but wasn't seeing, and that was awkward. Remember
That's
that?
funny. Yeah, he actually met his wife at Valley Forge maybe a year after that or two, and they
Right
were
on.
together for a long time. And then, they're married.
Okay.
They have 3 or 4 kids, and
Wow.
they're like worship pastors in Binghamton, New York now.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool. All right.
they ministered one time at my church. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I remember we played a lot of pool. I remember
Mhm.
that pool, ping pong, all that stuff. Um, let's see here. Open dorms was fun. Like, ooh, we get to hang out with the girls. And they get to hang out. I remember that was a big thing.
Mhm.
Did they do that the whole time? Like after I left, that was still
Yeah, yeah, they did, man. I don't know what they do now, but yeah, they did
okay.
that then.
Okay. Shoot, what else? I'm just flying through here. I remember going to the beach. That was cool.
Oh,
Wildwood.
that was fun. Yeah.
Yep, that was a quick outing we did. Um, I mean, just in such a short time, there's so much stuff just packed in there.
Yeah.
Um, and it's probably just more memorable to me because what happened and I got kicked out, and so that little moment in time is just so crystallized in my mind.
Yeah.
But I mean, you all meant a lot to me. I mean, even though it's so short of a time, and it was such an influential time in my life, and it was awesome, man.
Definitely, man. Yeah. I mean, you were a part of 24 down back then. You're a part of 24 down now. So, welcome back to the family,
Thank you.
Fraz. Yeah, man. And yeah, definitely get into those episodes where you don't know the guys too much, because hey,
Yeah.
the guys don't know you too much, but they're going to
Hey.
listen to this. So yeah, to just reciprocate that. But yeah, man. So what we're going to do is I'll say a little something after these plugs, and
Okay.
then I'll give you the last word.
All
So
right.
yeah, man. Thanks so much for coming on the episode 30, 24 Down Podcast. Just a couple of plugs for us. You can find us on Twitter at 24 Down Podcast. If you want to email us, 24downpodcast at gmail.com. We have 2 Facebook pages. One is the 24 Down page, and the other is the 24 Down Podcast page. And then we are also on YouTube with, our podcasts and other videos as well. And there's going to be some newer videos coming out as well that we have that are kind of secret videos, but you'll see those soon. And then, hey, get a shirt, whether it's a logo shirt, a 24 Down Podcast shirt, or one of our specialty shirts. I think we're up to somewhere 15 to 20 different shirts right now. Get your Bucking Buddha shirt and enjoy it. So, and you can get all that at storefrontier.com/24 down. That's storefrontier.com/24 down. So I would just like to say, Fraz, man, you probably were the 24 down member that was with us the shortest amount of time. However,
Yep.
I know, especially for me, I would say the same thing for Tim, and I would say, for some of the other guys as well, that are still with the family. You left a big impression on us. You were just a good guy, and we definitely don't hold anything that you did towards the school, against us or anything like that. There's no judgment here. You pretty much paid the biggest price of getting kicked out of a college, right? And we
Yep.
missed you, and we remember you coming back here and there. And so we're happy to have you back. Thank you for being so open and honest and authentic. And I think this was a really awesome episode. And the guys are gonna love this. The girls are gonna love this as well.
Right on. Hey, thank you. Again, this year has been nuts. I mean, 2020 has been bad for everyone, but if you take out the pandemic and all that, it's been a pretty wild year for me as well. Getting losing that job. I had a couple friends die, like our age, not COVID related, but just out of nowhere, and a lot of really bad, weird stuff has happened this year, and so immediately this year harkened me back to that time because that was a lot of bad stuff too. Getting kicked out and then just being crazy at the next school and doing stuff like that. And so it's really been heavy on my mind. And so I really appreciate you having me on today because I get to reminisce and I feel like I'm kind of in a way closing the door to my mission in college. Like I mentioned, it started with Valley Forge and what I learned there. And I was at Nova for a long time, did a lot of stuff. I shared the story so much in interviews and entrance letters to different jobs and colleges. It meant a lot to me. And even the the KKK Nazi rally. That thing was nuts, and I learned a lot from that too. But those events meant so much to me. And so at this point, I'm like, all right, my mission with college. This is a great point to say, all right, moving on to middle school, high school, that kind of stuff. So I appreciate it. I really do. And um, I got to reminisce. I'll buy some 24 down gear, man. There's like that stuff is slick, man. And this group, I think I heard someone say that it's like a fraternity. I say no, it's not. No, it's not. Here's why I say it's not like a fraternity. I've been around fraternities a lot. Fraternities, for one thing, you pay a bunch of money to be part of the fraternity, and a lot of that money goes to legal fees. So it gives you license to do stupid, not like fun stupid stuff, but like stupid stuff. And we all know that crap goes down. And there's legal fees. You got to pay to get into it. You got to do all that. 24 Down was much more authentic. It was like a true brotherhood that just kind of created and evolved and was amazing. So better than a fraternity, way better. Fraternity, they just sit around and drink and get in stupid trouble and legal trouble, and that's it, man. But this right here, man, it's a real deal. So and there's so many good lessons we can learn from it. How we treat each other, how we treat life. You can't ever take anything too seriously. There's a lot of serious stuff that goes on, but I like just like what you and the guys, a lot of the guys just have just that sense of, hey, just enjoy life, enjoy each other. So that was an amazing time in my life. I appreciate everything I learned from you all. And thank you again for having me on the podcast. I wrote down my New Year's resolutions, and one of them was to be on a podcast. So right before the clock strikes 12, man, thank you.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome that you're coming to a close, and also that you wanted just to close that chapter in your life as well. And now you're already going into, the new year already with one resolution like checked off. That's awesome, man.
That's right.
That's awesome, bro. Thanks so much for being on the podcast, man. And I hope the best for you, your wife, and your little one as well.
Thank you. Do appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. God bless, man.
Take care.